Let's go. It is Friday. Happy hour to all of you all football fans watching from all over the world. I am Lolo. I'm here in Brooklyn, and what a night for Leeds United fans. So, a lot of our fans here on the Stoop are Leeds United fans, and they've continued supporting us throughout this season of not being in the Premier League and listen to me talk a lot about Arsenal. So, we figured on a night like tonight, let's go ahead and give Leeds United their due. They deserve it. It was an incredible performance today. You could say it wasn't the best 90 minutes, but hey, for 30 minutes, Leeds United played and got the goals that really mattered. And being down for about an hour, 1-0, and then finding a way to come back and even put 3 up. So that sketchy goal that should have been given, I don't know, we could debate that. But even with that sketchy goal, had that been called or had VAR been in play and it been overturned, you still got an additional one on there from a lovely little free kick at the very end there. So cheers to y'all. Happy Friday, everybody. Drink them if you got them. I'm having one of these. Loverboy. I didn't really realize that's what it was called until I brought it home. So weird statement about a lover boy. Anyway, let's get to some of the fans in the chat. Anders was here bright and early. A lot of anxiety right now before the game tonight. That's a loyal fan right there. He was in the chat hours and hours before. So fantastic. Great to see Anders. I'm sure we'll see you in the chat later. Pincushion was there. We gave our little shout out, of course. Rob Colton just got home from the Leeds game and a happy hour. Get in. Yes, sir. Cheers. Once again, Leeds United. All right. And then Mr. Tom with the Leeds. Jimmy Bremmer's Ghost. Talk about ups and downs. Bring on Chelscum. Edit. Bring on Chelscum after the Scousers have kicked 7 shades of shite out of them. Pincushion, good to see you as well. Surely the Bin Dippers, Jimmy. Not the Scousers, but yes. Be a nice red Scouse day tomorrow, as he says. Who else do we have in here? Graham Wood, Robinson. All righty, what a night to be a Leeds fan. The title race is on. MOT. We've got people waiting to get on the show down there, and I see them fist pumping already. Leeds United, massive pincushion on there with the emojis. Moss Sports World, very good to see you as well. Diggler TC, come on, Leeds. Yes. And BX Gunners in the house. Sam Greenwood, Lord Bamford, the bringer of goals. And yes, I know a little something about that Lord Bamford. I don't know if y'all remember this, but yeah, that's Lolo right there. There's Lord Bamford. I'm making him laugh a little bit. Yeah, so little throwback to when I had a little conversation with Patty Bamford. But yes, Michael DiCaprio as well. I see you in there. Good one on there. Massive win. Can't wait to play you Gooners next season. I'm not looking forward to it. And that's kind of where I want to start, though, is this match. Mark and I have been trying to catch as many Leeds United matches as possible, and also trying to watch as much championship as possible because it is a different beast without VAR, with the referees seeming to at least have their balls back a bit and make a call and stick with it. And you make a call and you stick with it. Even that goal tonight where, I don't know, somebody's talking about rule changes and whatnot, that he didn't direct the pass or whatever like that. But in the moment, it looked like the defender got a header on it, or it might have deflected off a defender, and the goal scorer was clearly way offside. Guy calls it offside, done and dusted. Game was back playing like that. You know what? In a lot of those situations in the Premier League, yeah, you want your team to get that goal. Yeah, you want your team to not concede that goal. And so you want it to be right. But then we start getting into the minutia of right. Did he intend to chest that ball? Was it a chest pass to Melier? Does that count as a pass? Blah, 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 da, 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 da. When really in the thick and the heat of the game, boom, 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 the linesman made a call, and had the balls to stick by the call. I mean, they have to. There's no VAR, so they had to stick by it. But us watching the game as well live, we're going, yeah, dude's offside. He's offside. It wasn't. It wasn't. So I like that. We've been watching as much championship football as we can here in the States because we don't get all the matches. But today's match looked like two Premier League clubs going at it. And I think Leicester City and Leeds United are both primed to get back up in the Premier League. And it just made me think, for certain teams, does going down actually reinvigorate your team? It's a reset where if you can go down and then come right back up by playing really good football for more matches than you're used to playing, more often than you're used to playing, bigger names leave your club, but a lot of shit leaves your club too. And they have a time to regroup, and there's a lot of recognizable names on the Leicester side. But then there's a lot of new names, and then there's academy kids. And you look at Leeds United, this team, who of them were playing in the Premier League? What, 3, 4, 5 of them were actually playing in the Premier League? This is a new team, and it seems like a team that is gelling and can come back and do some damage. You see why second season syndrome is such a big deal. Wow, I can't believe I got that out. We'll check back in a few hours if I can say second season syndrome after a bunch of these beers that I'm having. But it just makes me think, for a team like Everton, as much as we all want to see Everton get relegated, because we do, that might be exactly what they need, is a year to regroup and beat on some teams and remind yourself that you are the big, massive club. You're not a minnow of a club that you might have felt like on days in the Premier League. And yes, in the championship, you get your ass handed to you. You draw matches you shouldn't. But in the end, watching Leicester City and Leeds United play today, that was Premier League football. But it was harder hitting than Premier League football because they were going in for the tackles, knowing that, like, excuse me, knowing that this may be a yellow card tackle. This might be a red card tackle, but they're not going to review it. So hopefully I only get the yellow card, because there were ones I was waiting for the game to stop. I was waiting for the game to stop and for them to start reviewing shit, and it didn't, and the game kept going and I didn't miss it. And you know what? Calls went their way. Calls went their way. In the end, I think it all worked out. Graham says, exactly, Lolo. You know, that's how you get your comments on screen. If you agree with me in the first few words, boom, your comment is on the screen. VAR takes the passion out of football. A decision in the moment should be the one that counts. I like that too. And I like that with penalties, especially because it's the live flow of the game that referee is using their decades of knowledge and experience to say, there may have been contact, but that's not a penalty to me. And then VAR reviews it and there's a clip of a boot, contact, penalty. As opposed to, no, the flow of the game doesn't dictate that that's a penalty. That was two players running their ass off. Like Leeds United, where when one of your defenders ran full speed at the dude with the ball on Leicester, and he like stopped so he didn't get clattered. And I don't think any contact actually happened, but he got himself between the man and the ball. The attacker goes falling on the ground afterwards and probably fell because he had to stop so suddenly. But that's not a penalty. That's somebody running balls out at your face, not looking like he's going to stop, and playing chicken with you, and you chickened out. You probably would have got the penalty had you just kept running, but you chickened out and you didn't get the penalty. And to me, that was ball busting, cracking football. That was like what the Premier League should be. But we're all playing with like Nerf guns these days. Anyway, I've been talking a good old long time. There's a bunch of comments coming in. Lots of people who we don't see every Friday. Rhiannon, so good to see you. Get on the show. Get on the show. I will send you the link if you're available. Not my name as well. Leeds have been on the sharp end of wrong decisions more than enough times, so it evens out. Exactly. Exactly. Doesn't most of America hate Leeds right now? Most of America does not know what Leeds is as a city, as a place, as a football club. And the people who love Leeds here fucking love Leeds to death. I see Leeds tops out in Park Slope all the time. It's remarkable. I got mad the other day because some kid was running by in a Leeds top, and I was like, Leeds, Leeds, Leeds. He had his fucking headphones in. He didn't know what I said. He probably thought I was like, I don't know, some creep. Anyway, lots of comments to get to. We're going to get to all of that, but let me go ahead and bring on my lovely co-host. Oh, there you go. Lolo's the best. You know, Tom. You know how to get up on here. Now he's reading this out. Save your side chick's number under your girlfriend's name as they'll never read their own texts. Well done. Well done there. Yes, I do, Sam. Very much. So let's go ahead and bring him on. Mr. Mark, I know you.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? I tell you, Lolo, I have experienced the very same thing in Manhattan and Brooklyn, where I have been walking down the street and I see someone in a Leeds top, or if it's cold out, they got the Leeds scarf on, or they've got a Leeds hat. And I'll walk by them and I'll be like, Leeds, Leeds, Leeds. And they just keep going. And like, I'm just like, well, wait a minute. I've heard stories about how these Leeds fans all around the world recognize one another. I wasn't wearing a Leeds top, but but I have experienced that. Welcome everybody. Very happy to be here. Very happy Leeds won. It was a strange one. It really was a strange one.
And I don't know why, Mark, but I'm being tempted to cut you off there because that just didn't sound right. I would say Leicester won. Leeds 3. It just didn't sound right. Leeds 1.
I see what you did there. Leicester won. Leeds 3.
Straight off the bat, Mark.
Leeds were at home. So.
Straight off the bat, Mark, which one of the players would you say impressed you the most? Rough one. I thought I was throwing you a softball.
It is a tough one for me because the player that impressed me the most, and the one that I think is going to get a lot of looks in the offseason, is one on the losing side. Kieran Dewsbury-Hall was very impressive to me.
I think he's actually the one I was talking about that pulled out of the challenge.
There was a lot of really weird, and I agree with you what you said about VAR and how refreshing it is to watch a match without VAR. And it's one of the things that I love so much about other leagues. Champions League because there is, the Championship because there is no VAR. In other leagues like the Bundesliga and La Liga, there's no overabundance of use of VAR. They're pretty VAR is like a kind of a last minute thing, but for me in the Premier League, sometimes VAR is just an excuse for poor officiating. It's like, I don't need to get that right on the field because VAR is going to come along and fix my mistake.
That's what I've been saying, Mark.
I've been saying that for quite a while.
We just don't listen to each other. We just sit here and argue, but we're saying the same exact thing.
I just want to recognize everyone that is tuned into our very Leeds-centric show. We have quite a bit of viewers right now, so if y'all could just take a moment and smash that like button and appreciate all the hard work that Lolo and I put into this, we'd really appreciate it.
Please do. Welcome
because
to the
it's
show.
been a while since I've seen these kind of numbers live, so that's really cool.
Well, Mark, can I tell you who my player of the match was?
Who's your player of the match?
I don't know if he's man of the match, but the one that impressed me the most and I look forward to seeing in the Premier League, don't look forward to playing against him, is Jorginho Rutter.
I didn't think he had all that great of a game.
He didn't, but the boy never stops running, and I feel
this is true.
I feel like he looks like he has size 10 shoes, but he has size like 37 because there's balls he should not get to. He should not be getting these balls, and he's got like 6 inches of extra toe on his foot, and he just gets to the ball.
That sounds really weird. I have a size 12 shoe, but I have to have it remodeled because my toe is an extra 6 inches long, which would just be downright freaky. But again, as far as like VAR is concerned, the game would have been very, very different had VAR been involved. And two teams that are equipped with VAR.
Yep.
There's something that you had said earlier about how a team almost needs to go down to kind of refigure, reset, and then come back up even stronger. Because like I'm watching these two teams that I've followed in the Premier League. I mean, Leicester was a good squad. Leeds was a fabulous watch for the 3 years that they were in the league, as far as I was concerned. But now I watch them, like today is a perfect example. Outside of maybe 3 players, I know nothing of, 4 players. I know nothing of either squad. There's two players from Leicester that I recognize, Daka and Dewsbury Hall, and on Leeds side it's Melier and Firpo. That's it. I mean, sure, Dan James, sure this, sure that, Patrick Bamford, but who knows? And Pink Cushion has put it very well. Who gives a shit? Leeds United won, as it should be.
Yes,
as it should be.
But I mean, once again, we are not the Leeds United fans. We have some waiting in the wings to get on right now. We're going to bring them on momentarily. But I just wanted to get this opinion from not opposing fan base. We have, you guys win, you lose. It means nothing to our clubs. But we have an affinity towards your club because so many of your fans have embraced us and been really great to our channel. And I really enjoy most of the Leeds fans that I meet.
Right.
So it's good for us to give this sort of outsider opinion.
Yeah, absolutely. Before we bring on all those wonderful Leeds fans, I just want to add, before it gets lost in the shuffle, that the second half adjustment that Fark had made when he took, I thought taking Noto off was stupid. But
that's why you're not a manager.
They took Nyoto off and they took somebody else off.
That's what Sam was saying.
It was a double substitution. Dan James and Bamford came on, and the whole tune to the song completely changed.
Yeah.
That's what I got to say, folks.
Yeah, and it was like Pirro was kind of having an off day, and Patrick Bamford being up front was very good. It made a big change. Somebody just mentioned that right down here, if I can find it. This would be a day to have John here. But what did they say? Sorry. Yeah. David said Ruder needed Bamford up front because with Bamford, he occupies defenders and has strength, so Ruder can play off of him. And his tricks were working in the second half, as somebody else said. Duncan said his tricks didn't work in the first half, but he stuck with it. And that was my thing. The thing that impressed me so much with him was the fact that he stuck with it and never stopped going. He was a menace. And to me, you can have poor touches, you can lose the ball, you can, as long as you're diving back in there, and they know that if they get the ball off of you, they better start running like this because you're coming up on them. You're coming up behind them with your camel toes, your 6-inch toes that will sneak into all the nooks and crannies of your little biscuit.
your moose knuckles.
Your moose knuckles. All right, so let's get to it, Mark. At least we have them laughing backstage. So let's bring on our 2 Leeds United fans. Sorry, Arsenal, you're gonna have to hang tight just a little while longer. I thought Gary was putting a mask on. He was just like, no, I'm out of here. But let's bring him on. You know him, you love him. It's our Lord of all the bad bets, Mr. Tom. Get in here, my friend. Leeds.
Leeds. Come on.
Oh,
There
Jesus,
you
I thought you
go.
were choking there for a second.
Leeds.
I was choking on my own pride.
And we've got David via Martine. Very
Get
good
in
to
there,
see
boys. Get in.
you. Get in.
Well done, folks.
So, we talked about it as outsiders. How did Leeds United fans feel right now? I know this doesn't mean it's a spot on title race going on, but has there been a bigger 6 points? That felt like the biggest 6-pointer I've seen in a long time.
Tom.
I'll tell you, I felt ecstatic, elated, every descriptive word or synonym, even relieved. I think the actual biggest emotion was relieved because ultimately we committed a robbery tonight. Because the reality is, right, and you can see, right, that saying we did not do well isn't being defeatist or anything. It's called having eyes and making use of them. The fact of the matter is, for 79 minutes of a contest, we got beat up. But the important thing is we fucking won it.
Yep.
In 3 years'
Absolutely
time,
right.
if we're in the Premier League, in 3 years' time, if we're still in the Premier League and we're going from strength to strength, we ain't going to look back and go, oh, Leicester scored a goal that they should have got. No, don't fucking matter. Do Villa still talk about the fucking goal line technology that failed? That ought to be kept in the Premier League. No, they talk about their fucking times that they're now going to fucking win the Conference League and they were nearly top of the league at Christmas and shit like that. Fuck them. Fuck Leicester. Fuck Villa. Fuck them all. We're Leeds and we fucking won.
There you go. There you
I don't
go.
care
Hey,
about
we got a fan in from Seattle, by the way, Tom.
Hey,
all the way in
fantastic.
Seattle. That's like a different day than you right now. That's like
It is.
87 hours difference.
Absolutely.
But no, I'm trying to find the comment that somebody had said very similar to what you wrote. Ah, crap. I can't find it.
What are we looking for, Lolo?
My head's in Seattle. My head's in Seattle now. But yeah, an absolute robbery, as you said. David, how are you feeling about the win?
Buzzing, mate. Absolutely buzzing. The first half, we were awful. Pick out players in that first half. Dewsbury Hall. Winks was given the freedom of Leeds. And Dakar, his movement up front, was just ripping our central defenders all over the place. I said in another chat with some mates, I said, if we get an early goal, I reckon we can win this still. Even though we hadn't played badly. Okay, we had to wait for that goal. But once we got it, I again in the chat, I said, we'll go on and win this and we'll win it handsomely. And sure enough, we did. I knew that Leicester would suddenly capitulate. And I've been the biggest critic probably of Farke, but he got it right tonight. He got it right with his substitutions and putting the different players on, plus a bit of luck as well, which you always need in the game. Really, we should have been dead and buried by that time. But it just goes to show the mental fortitude of the players that they've got, that they'll keep on going and keep on going. And they got their just rewards in the end. So, yeah, fantastic.
Yeah, I think the comment that I was looking for... Oh, go ahead, Mark.
I'm sorry. I just, before we move on or continue on, I want to recognize Russ Morgan here, who says he's from Green Bay and we don't have a Leeds fan club. Well, damn it, you have to start one. And the next time I'm in Green Bay, I'd love to meet you. My father-in-law is in Green Bay.
He's literally from Slough.
He's literally what?
He's from Slough in England.
Oh.
And
he says he's from Green Bay. We take comments as truth.
From Green Bay.
Yeah, we have truth filters on here, so you can only speak truth, Tom. Especially
he's on my wrestling show. He's from Slough. He's as English as I am.
Okay,
he's as much from Green Bay as David, who have 42 caps for the Nigerian basketball team.
All the same. I
Funny that you say that, Tom.
Slough houses.
Slough.
The English version of The Office is set.
Yeah. Well, getting back to it, I think you guys have both touched on the fact that going down a goal and then Leicester City having tons and tons of opportunities and times where, I mean, Jesus, how did they not score? You guys could have, tucked your tails in a little bit and gotten down and been like, look, let's keep this at 1-0. Let's try to get maybe one back. Let's just do our best here. And it was like, no, you guys stopped and said, no, we're going to, the fact that they miss chances doesn't mean we need to pull back. It means maybe luck is on our side and let's fucking push for it. And it comes down, one of those goals that epitomizes that to me is Archie Gray, who did not have the best day. I am a big fan of Archie Gray. Big time Leeds heritage in his bones, but he did not have a great day. And from a lot that I'm seeing, it's the combination of him and Nanto with the Leicester wingback who is just blazing fast. And so maybe he wasn't set up quite right. And then the switch happens and I think he moves to the other side. But when he gets the ball and he takes his shot, most of the game, nobody's taking that shot. You're trying to cut back in. Nanto's trying to flip something back around. Somerville's trying to cut it back. And he took a shot. And yes, it took 2 deflections. And you know how many goals that's worth? 1 fucking goal. So it doesn't like, you don't get half a goal because it was deflected. So take the chances, stay in the game. Right?
I'm really surprised that, no. I'm sorry. I just real quickly. I was really surprised that Archie was given the goal. I thought that was going to be an own goal. It looked like it was going so far wide. But he's Archie Gray, and it's at Ellen Road.
No. Mark,
he gets
look
the
at
goal.
It took 2 deflections. So the initial deflection sends it off target. The first shot was on target.
I still sometimes when it comes to deflections, I'm a little hazy on how they determine that. But to me, it seemed like that shot was going to be wide. He was going to either that or it was a very poor cross.
I think if nobody touches it, the keeper saves it, but it is a shot on target. The deflection comes so hard in the other direction, and then that sends it back in another direction. The keeper's not saving that at all. It was given as an own goal. I thought they changed it by the end of the game. Sorry,
they've changed it again.
They changed it again. It is an own goal.
Yeah, it is. It is Gray. It is Gray. They've given it to
Archie Gray was awarded the goal. Which good on him. I mean, Jesus Christ! If anything,
what a goal to get.
The response from the crowd, I thought that place was just going to catch flames.
It's like they're on some sport,
when that went in, the crowd I've in Premier League or in English football, I've never seen anything like it. I've seen it maybe in other leagues in Europe and in South America, to be certain. But wow, I mean, I thought Ellen Road was going to catch fire.
It was. It went on. The cheering just went on for minutes and minutes.
Oh,
afterwards.
It just exploded.
Oh, and Mark, I don't know if you were watching on ESPN or what, but
I was watching on ESPN.
Like, they don't have people covering the match, so after the match, it's like just audio of Ellen Road and visuals of whatever's happening at Ellen Road for another 15, 20 minutes. I was like, this is amazing. Nobody's talking in my ear. I'm getting to hear songs and everything. And I'm cooking dinner and singing along. Shout it out loud, we love you, Leeds. My kid's like, what are we having? I'm like, we're having beats.
One of my favorite parts of it.
So Russ Morgan is from Green Bay, Wisconsin.
He's not. He
just said
he's having you over.
His comment right here. How dare you, Green Bay, Wisconsin?
Yeah, he's impersonating a wrestler called Mr. Kennedy. That's how he reads.
Okay, fair enough.
Entrance. Anyway.
Fair enough.
One of my favourite bits of the contest was Leicester when they were in front and on top of the game. They were chanting, "We will not be moved," which I thought was quite amusing, and I thought it was quite ironic that they would not be moved, considering in the 85th minute, when they were 2-1 down, many of them were leaving.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think it was also when they were chanting out so much about your atmosphere or something like that. They heard the atmosphere by the end of the game. They heard the
I think they
atmosphere.
liked it.
They got
were a
that.
fan of it.
Just getting back onto the tactical side. In the second half, he came out and he dropped Gruev in, and they were playing three at the back. Throughout the game, the Leeds do play with the fullbacks pushed really high, which does leave you exposed, the fullbacks, time and time again. So Gray didn't have a bad game. He was doing what he was told to do, but he was getting exposed. And it happened a couple of times to Firpo. I think Nonto covered back more on Gray's side, which helped. Somerville was pocketed by Chowdhury completely and Pereira. And I think that's why Firpo had an average game. One bad back pass, which could have led to a goal. But making those changes, especially Bamford and James, I thought maybe he would take off Somerville and put Nonto onto the left. But he didn't. He took off Nonto and Pirot for James and Bamford. Made a big difference. Bamford made the difference because suddenly he is occupying the defenders. He's holding the ball. He's sticking out a long leg. I mean, the tackle he did on Chowdhury, tackling back, it didn't. A lot of people it go unnoticed, but that's how you win games. That's how you.
That's the one where he
defenders.
tracked all the way back to midfield and made tackle. Yeah.
Their 11 had our number for a large portion of the contest. Problem is, football isn't just about 11 players, is it? It's very much a squad game, especially now that they made the rules that you can have 5 changes in 3 intervals. It becomes even more important about your depth.
Yeah.
And at that level, we have a lot of depth.
I think taking off Somerville made a big difference because suddenly they didn't have to worry about him. So therefore, they didn't. I think they were a bit unsure who was actually marking on that side, and suddenly it's exploited. I mean, Archie Gray. I'm glad the goal's been given to him, even though I think it was probably going wide initially.
Yeah.
What a first goal to get in your career. You know?
Yeah, no doubt.
A winning goal.
Wow. Yeah.
So it was just another match. As we've seen. Mark, did you see this by any chance? The Leicester manager's thing.
I not only saw it, but I'm the one that posted that on our chat line.
I just stole it from you.
I was like, man, shots fired. This is a ridiculous statement to make. You know, the day of the game, or whenever it was made. I'm look. You said earlier, you're not the manager, you're not the football manager, blah blah blah, whatever. I would know better if I was a football manager to make a statement like that. I do not want to give my opponent any more fuel to the fire than they already have. I mean, look. The race is not sewn up. We are not talking about, it being an insurmountable, lead. You're not up by 30, in the standings. You're up by what was it, 9?
9,
and now it's 6. To give a team that's at home even more of an advantage, even more fuel to that fire, was just absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
Can I just say something in his defense? It's all about context, and the biggest context is don't speak in a second language when you're talking about things like that, because it came out of context.
Is that the case?
Yeah, it did. I mean, they're still top. We could have ended up in 4th place, and I think that's what he was trying to get over, but it didn't come over well.
All right, fair enough.
He spoke about our forward line and how fantastic they were, how well we had done on the unbeaten run, and also the atmosphere in Ellen Road. So, there were two sides to it. And later on, in a bit that I haven't seen anywhere else, but I watched the complete interview. He said if the roles were reversed, it would be a massive game for them.
Gotcha.
So, you know what I mean? So, but I think learn a lesson, keep your mouth shut.
Yeah.
He
Yeah,
learned
no, I
about
do
the
hear you.
English media.
Feeling like it was kind of it's not that hot of an answer when you really think of it, of saying, this is a huge game for Leeds United. Do you feel the same? Is this a huge game? And he's saying, if I was them, I would be a huge game. Yeah. But for us, it's we just have to keep winning. Like imagine Pep Guardiola saying, saying that about maybe not Liverpool or Arsenal, but, say Tottenham or somebody playing them. He's like, yeah, it's a huge game for them. For us, we just have to keep winning. Like, I don't care who we play. That can be misconstrued, not even misconstrued, but, more weight put onto it than. Yeah. But that's, as somebody said, that's not what you need to do to Ellen Road. As Masane Epic Gaming said, he lifted the crowd saying that. We like adversity at Leeds. We like to prove them wrong.
That's what I'm getting
like to be hated. And that's why we love
I think
Leeds
he was
United.
watching I think he was watching the 1994 Street Fighter movie the day before he did that interview, because that was an exact quote. Not an exact quote, that's wrong of me. But basically, it was a quote made by the villain of the movie, General M. Bison. Basically saying, Raul Julia, very good, Raul Julia, where basically he was saying when he walked into Chun-Li's village and burned it down and killed her family, it was the biggest, most important day and honor of her family's life. But for him, it was Tuesday.
Yep. Now, see, had he come out and said that, he's like, I understand this is a huge, huge match. Everybody at Leeds is really into this. For me, it's Friday night. Then you can be like, oh, shit, M. Bison over here. But, guys, I want to talk to you about the historic run that Leeds United are on right now, because you just broke a record. As good as Leeds United has been for the past century, you've never done this, have you? You've never won 9 matches in a row to start a year, or at home or something like that? What is this? 9 in a row at home, or just 9 in a row period?
No, 9 in a row from the start of the year.
From the start of the year, let's take a look at that. December 29th, your loss to West Brom, and then it was 3-0 home to Birmingham. In the cup, that doesn't count. Leeds beat Cardiff City 3-0, Preston 2-1, Norwich 1-0, Bristol 1-0, Rotherham 3-0, Swansea 4-0. I think this is like 22 goals for and 2 against, if I remember correctly. That's a 20 plus goal differential this calendar year. Arsenal sitting on 5 in a row to start this calendar year, and I'm already like, the bubble's gonna pop, man. The bubble's gonna fucking pop, man. Oh my God!
Sorry, didn't it pop yesterday?
No, in the league, man. Talking in the league, okay? You saw me sweep right over Plymouth Argyle, right?
Sure,
you saw me sweep right over the draw.
I understand. I see where you're going. I see.
Yeah. Okay. Come on. We're talking in the league.
In the league. Okay.
Yeah. But that's
fantastic
9
run
in a row.
It's a fantastic run. Absolutely fantastic run.
Yeah. Absolutely impressive.
But to be honest, I don't care about the record. The record means nothing. We're in the second tier of football. If you're doing that in the top tier, fair enough. It's the second tier of football. It's a means to an end. And with the squad that we have, and especially against the teams we were playing previously, we should be outclassing these teams. That's the way I look at it. My bar is set very high for this Leeds team, so I don't really get carried away with that. Doesn't mean a lot to me.
That being said, let's go and get the record.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
but so here's something that made me think of. There's so much that happens in the world of football that means so much to us as fans. But we have no clue what it actually means to the players and to the staff and the coaches. Like the North London Derby, for example, probably means more to me than a player than like Declan Rice, who just came over to Arsenal, has never played in a North London Derby, has never felt what is really probably felt more in the stands these days than it is on the pitch. So when we're like, it's a North London Derby, here we go, that's us. That's not the fans. And it was very interesting, David saying the 9 wins in a row doesn't matter to you. If you lose one, get back on it, keep going. The record doesn't matter to you. This is something that I think affects the players' mindset more. Of tonight, they felt unbeatable. Even though they went down, they had a belief of, no, we don't lose at home, we don't lose in the league, and we don't lose in 2024. And they had that come from behind mentality that is something seen more on the pitch. Does that make any sense to you guys?
Yeah,
Do you agree with me? Do you have other examples?
Tom?
Okay, moving on. Next topic.
I do know
Fuck off, Lolo.
the record for...
Thank you,
must do
Bono.
it.
Somebody agrees with me. Fucking hell.
Apparently in 99, Charlton won 12 in a row.
Whoa. Okay. Bandy says 3 games will be top of the pile. Will you doubt me? No, but I want to know your thoughts, Mark, as well. Like, what are you get what I'm saying? Like things that affect us versus the players.
With what Bandy just said, in 3 games we'll be top of the pile. Will you doubt me? You know what? I think Leicester has a very big problem losing. They're going to lose Vestergaard. Is it Vestergaard? Is that his name? Vestergaard? Yep. The big tall dude. He's an amazing defender. They're going to lose him for 2 or 3 games because of his 100th yellow card or something like that, which I felt was a little harsh, but that's beside the point. I don't know what Leicester's schedule looks like in the next few games, and I definitely cannot say that I know anything about any of the 20 some odd teams outside of Leeds and Leicester. So I don't necessarily know how much that's going to affect them, but he is a very, very pivotal defensive player for that team. And it could very well be that they find themselves on the wrong side of some results in the next few weeks.
They've got a difficult March. Difficult March. Yeah. They're away during that. They're away at Sunderland. They're away at Hull.
I'll send you the fixture list.
Playing very good football.
I have it.
I've got a graphic for it. Give me a minute.
Okay. Well, David, it's not always easy to have a good march if you're not marching on together.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm here all night.
Boom.
And stay for the midnight show when things get a little blue.
And I'm out.
Going out on a high note.
I got Mark with one earlier.
I've put in a happy hour chat, but it's a list of all 4 teams' fixtures.
Awesome.
Can I just bring it as we're talking about things like that? I just want to take you back, Lolo, before we came on the show. This camel toe thing. You do know what a camel toe is, don't you?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
Yeah. Roger hasn't got a camel toe.
I'm not the one who said I said it later. Yes, I did. But somebody in the comments put it in the comments, which made me laugh and say that. Guys, it's been 45 freaking minutes of talking about Leeds United. We will continue talking about Leeds United, but Gary's down here just like in his Bill Belichick mode. He's like, oh, I broke his heart. But he's over here just creeping in his hoodie over here. What's up, Gary?
Hello, sir.
We were
Mark,
all Leeds United.
David,
here.
Mr. Tom, and the chat room. Hello, guys.
Yeah, hello everybody, and thank you once again to everybody who's in the chat room right now, who's talking and listening to us talk Leeds United.
Down there the whole time.
Yeah, he's been down there the whole time.
He's just
Oh,
he's
Gary.
been a trooper.
Just
He
it's
has
just
been
when
an
I
absolute
added
trooper.
another when I started sharing my screen, it kind of pushed him down there so I didn't see him anymore, and I was like, oh, he must have left. And then I just felt this horrible like presence, just like
Gary's been hiding underneath that hood
Yeah.
since
Gary.
was it Wednesday night?
Oh yeah, Wednesday night. Who wants to talk about that?
Listen, we're talking.
You know what
Gary,
today?
United
You know what
far
today was a
away.
good day for English football. I mean, you see the women; they kept scoring. They couldn't stop scoring. Leeds decided to wait late and do it. I mean, good day. So yeah, no,
Glad birthdays.
it was a good day. You know, watching that, I knew you guys would be happy, because especially like it was like when you tied it up, it was like, okay, at least you get a point out of this. And it's like, wait a second, I think somebody said, why don't we just go for all 3 points? And basically, you know what, that's what the team did.
Might as well at that point.
Yeah, and they did that. And Leicester, like they say it all the time. Those misses come back to haunt you. You know, regardless
Very
of
much.
the goal that got called back, they still had
Don't
more than
type
enough
patch
chances.
And regardless of
Get
how
to.
well you break up with them, the miss is gonna come back, man. Sorry, Gary. Welcome to the show. These loverboard things I'm drinking are giving me some really bad puns.
Yeah, that's
some really
They're still
Woo!
roasting Daka on
Dad
Twitter right
jokes.
now as we speak. Oh my god. Poor guy.
But very good to see you, Gary. I want to ask you guys. So we all went to Ellen Road together and saw a fantastically not fantastic match, but a fantastic environment. I
It was
have this
certainly
problem.
a fantastic experience.
It was a fantastic experience. I have this problem now when I'm watching matches, and it's matches that Leeds United are not playing in, but when I'm watching on television and I hear like chanting starting and singing and all that, I'm always sitting there, and then it just somehow whatever they're singing always turns into marching on together, and I'm like, I'm watching Arsenal. Like, why is
I'm gonna take you one more, Lolo, because sometimes I find myself doing just stupid, mundane chores around the house. I'll be washing dishes, and all of a sudden in my head just goes, "We've seen it all together. We've seen the ups and downs, ups and downs."
you got a wet sponge?
I'm just like scrubbing these plates forever.
Yeah.
At
Anyway,
least
welcome to
until
the show,
wheels are
Gary.
spinning round.
Yes,
Gary, did you happen to watch the Leeds United match?
yes, I did.
All right. What are your thoughts?
No, you know what? When Nanto got that ball in the box and didn't take the shot, I was like, oh damn it!
No
Oh,
shit.
man. I was like, why? What? Is this the goalkeeper in front of you? Why would you turn inside to the defender? Just take the damn shot.
I'll
No,
tell you why,
just
Gary.
fire
No, it's 'cause he
away with
scored
that
a goal exactly like
firecracker of
that.
a leg of yours.
He scored a goal like that against Swansea, where he cut inside and then went across the goalkeeper. He was trying the exact same thing.
Yeah, but
Problem was,
at
trying
that
it
point in the
against
game,
Swansea,
though,
he was
you
trying
like
against
need a
Leicester,
shot
it's
on
two different
goal,
things.
please, right? I mean, he's
Yeah.
all by himself. It was a perfect. Everything about that was perfect except for the execution at the end. Just take the shot. And I was like, oh, this is not gonna be a good game for, at least for him. It didn't look like it was a good game. So yeah.
There were a few chances in the first half which were just shocking. Pirro taking the shot, all he had to do was square it to Somerville, empty goal.
And it's just Somerville
know.
who booted it like out of the stadium, I think.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
Or they
I
both
mean,
did.
he was going
Yeah, they
for
both
that
did.
like
There was a
Australian,
lot of
Australian
like
football,
over the net.
the rugby kick. I was like, what?
It is what it is. It is what it is. It happens, you know, especially at that level. And the difference is when they get up to the Premier, they won't be able to do that.
Yeah.
Both teams, you know.
Yeah.
I'll ask David a question. Genuine question.
Go on. Yeah.
I don't have the opportunity to ask him many questions on air. If we got promoted tomorrow, let's just say,
Mhm.
how many of tonight's lineup, let's say starting lineup, do you think would be a Premier League starting player for Leeds? Based on what you've just said about you can't afford to miss those sort of chances. Like
I reckon.
realistically.
I reckon that if we get promoted, we need to bring in about 10 to 12 players. That many.
How many
what
starters
I
is
think.
that?
10 to 12
Oh
probably.
gosh, I would
Well, you know,
say
I mean-
at least 6. Being honest, I mean, and I'll tell you why. I'm not going to. Ampadu, I think, has been fantastic, and he's playing out of position at the moment, and he's still playing really well. Roden tonight, and I like him very much, but he got found out big time tonight. He got found out, and you imagine, okay, you're playing against Leicester City, but they're not a Premier side at the moment, and Premier sides they would rip this Leeds team and the Leicester team apart. Both the sides have to make big changes, and that is just typical, unfortunately, of the difference now between Championship and Premier. It's a big step up.
What's the what's the prize to win the championship? I mean,
200
what does
million TV money.
A trophy.
No, you do get a
trophy.
trophy. You get a trophy, but
Yeah,
you get a little gift
prize-
bag. There's some Armani in there.
I think there were some hats, maybe some hats.
You get
a
you
shirt,
actually
Maybe a-
get
maybe a
some,
hat.
some on the you get some on the stoop
Stickers.
2021 hats.
No, shut up, Mark. We don't have any more of those. Those are worth money now. I
You
had
get-
like
if
3.
if you're
and
a
they're all
Leeds
like
fan,
this.
if you're a Leeds player,
but-
you get 2 tickets to Flamingo Land.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's like as much as people complain. I mean, Melier is. I think he's a Premier League keeper. I think he's quality. Obviously, we're still in February, so Junior Firpo is still that Premier League player.
We've got no
He
more
was
league
February
matches, though,
29th,
with
man. He was
February.
like not having a great game. Hey, give me 1 second, guys. I just saw we got an Everton fan in the house. What's going on, Richo65? So play nice,
Cool.
you bunch of evil Leeds fans.
didn't
Play
know that
nice,
happened.
and yeah, of course, Conche right away gets into it.
I don't
Can't wait for Leeds to replace Everton in the Premier League. All right,
Oh, that's not
a good one.
happening.
That's a good one.
I
We'll
don't-
see.
I think-
There's other bad teams
I-
in the Premier League.
Unless
But welcome to the channel.
Everton
Fat
gets another
Conche
10-point
for that last
deduction,
comment.
I think Everton stays up.
Yeah,
I think the teams like Burnley and United, Sheffield United, they're just awful. Obviously,
They're gone.
Sheffield United is awful. They give up goals to everyone. Burnley,
Leicester have
the
got
same
an
way.
outside chance.
Leicester has an outside chance
Outside chance
of what?
of staying in the Premier,
relegated?
but they've got to rely on Everton
Leicester?
messing
I
up.
mean,
I'm
Luton,
not really
Luton, sorry,
sure.
Luton.
Oh Jesus!
Luton.
I was like,
Luton.
wait, what
Luton?
year are
Sorry,
we in?
Luton.
I would love it. I would love it if Luton stayed up because they
Me
are
too.
an entertaining watch of the teams that got brought up. I
They'll
think
go
we said
down
this
next
last
year.
week.
you'll want
We
them
talked
to
about this
mention,
last
not what
week where we
aware
were
of.
like, if it was Leeds a few years ago, if it was Burnley or not Burnley, but Brentford, and all these teams that provide exciting football. I watch Luton.
Mm.
I think they're a very exciting watch.
It's an
But they lose a
entertaining
lot.
game.
Decent players.
Unfortunately, yeah.
Oh,
There's some players there to be picked off if Luton get relegated. Where I wouldn't say the same. I wouldn't say the same with United and Burnley, but Luton have got some decent players.
With Luton, the player that I'm most enamored with. I mean, there's
Dowdy.
a few. I mean, obviously, Ross Barkley. He's a very experienced player. Does very well on Luton.
Dowdy,
Chong
Dowdy.
is a
Dowdy.
really great player. But for me,
Dowdy. It's Dowdy.
who?
Mark. It's
Alfie Dowdy. I love the name.
Dowdy.
I love Alfie
Little
Dowdy.
Dowdy Alexander Arnold, man.
But for me, maybe he's not even on this team. I don't know.
Oh, good. I'm glad you took fucking 15 minutes to tell us that.
15 minutes. You mean your opening dialogue?
Yes. It was a monologue, Mark. Mono. Like high school.
Right. obviously he was the a theater major, and I had something far more important to study. I don't even. That's ridiculous.
You
And
sound like my
drinking
father.
non-alcoholic beer. You sound like your brother. He studied.
Oh, Dan the man. He's helping you out. Adebayo. Are you thinking of Adebayo?
I am not thinking of Adebayo, but he is a good player. Maybe it's Chong that I'm thinking of, but maybe the player that is on Sheffield United, Hamer. That's probably who it is. It's probably on Sheffield United.
They've got a couple of lads.
He's the
Hamer's
player that
all right
impresses
for
you the
United.
most, and you don't know who he is.
I
That
wouldn't take Hamer
we're
from
at
Sheffield
levels.
United.
I watch a lot of bad football. What can I say? I watch everything.
Apparently, Hamer was in the pub the night before the last game for United.
Oh, good on him.
And I like him. I like him. He did well at Coventry, and he was a name that I thought, yeah, he'd be good at Leeds. But actually, I think we
David,
dodged
you know
a
who
bullet.
I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Gustavo Hamer.
Yeah.
Gustavo Hamer at Sheffield United. You're talking about.
Oh my God! It's Sheffield United the whole time.
Yes, it is. It is Hamer.
He
That guy's impressive. He's a great defender.
Mark. Sorry, but we're gonna need you to narrow your football watching down a little bit.
Mentality.
If you have a favorite Sheffield United player, you're watching too much fucking football.
Well, did you guys
Who
see
has a favorite Sheffield United player?
Did you see?
I have. Lolo, I've got a favorite Sheffield United player, but his name was Tony Curry, and he played back in the 70s, and then he transferred to Leeds.
So at halftime, I'm switching back to Leverkusen Mainz, and like I'm like watching that, and our very beloved dirty jersey Chris, when I comment on the goal that Mainz gave up, which was just a ridiculous fumble by their goalie. I comment on this, and Dirty Jersey Chris is like, in 2 years' time, Mark is going to be watching league or level 3 Italian league or whatever it is he said, and I'm like, God help me if my addiction to football ends up doing that.
No, because Chris was
you and me,
Chris
we'll have good chats. Don't you worry. We'll have good
Chris
chat.
Posted like. He's like, don't worry. After this, there's high school whatever down the road from me, and I guarantee you, he goes and watches high school. Like that dude watches. Oh, he puts Najee to shame, and Najee watches a lot of fucking football.
I was watching one of the Leeds games when we were in the Premier, and then our game had finished, and a couple of mates commented on some other Premier game, and I was like, I'm sorry, I'm watching the Forest Green game. You want to turn it over to this? It's a cracker, because I'll watch anything. I'll literally watch anything.
Yeah.
So Mansfield won 9-2 last week.
Oh, I missed it. Damn.
9-2. Just very close to the elusive 7-7 that I want to see. I want to see a 7-7. Nearly got it last year. Wrexham won again 7-5.
I'm just gonna. I'll round up what I reckon, and I said this to a couple of Leeds fans in the Scarborough Tats after the Plymouth draw in the cup, and we were chatting about the league, and I said. Then, because they said, "Oh, Leicester's got the league," and I said, "I don't think so. I think we're going to do it," and I still think we're going to do it. After tonight, I think we will win the league.
Would be nice.
I mean, that is a very.
If we don't, it doesn't matter.
If today's just an ordinary day, an ordinary game, then you'll win the league, because there's a lot of pressure on today's game, all right? Especially if your goal is to win the league. And especially going down 1-0 at home and almost going down 2, 3, 4. Some people have said 5-0 it could have been. And then you finish off strong like that. I mean, I know, like, I think it was. I think when the second goal or one of the goals went in, we saw people leaving, and you're like, I hope those aren't I hope those are the Leeds fans, because you know.
Well,
But otherwise, nah, it's just one game at a time, right?
Yeah.
And if that's what the
yeah. Well, and
I think that's what the manager was trying to say, but it came off wrong because if you look too far down the road, guess what? You end up in one of those playoff games late in the season and going,
Yeah.
how in the world did that happen? And how in the world are we sitting on the outside now watching the championship game go, So
Yeah.
one
Yeah.
game at a
Leicester-
time.
Well, and
Especially, think about it also.
Leicester-
How many points back were you, like, months ago? You're like,
17.
well, if we get in the playoffs, we'll be fine. Now you're like, guess
17.
what? We're just going to creep up and keep doing what we're doing.
Yeah, yeah.
Now it's just a matter of, just keep doing what you're doing, and you might be looking down at the rest of everybody in the table.
Leicester have
Well-
got QPR up next. They're away to Sunderland. They're away to Hull. And then they've got Southampton.
they've also got
they're missing a
Bournemouth in the
starter
cup.
now too. So there you go.
Yeah,
They've got
yeah.
Bournemouth in the cup on Tuesday as well. So there's
Yeah,
another
yeah.
match in there that they have to contend with.
Right.
But listen, like
got a
Mark,
hard month.
you know how we always have a hard time explaining what a 6-pointer means? This was so clear. Leeds were behind Leicester by 9 points.
Mhm.
Had Leicester won, they would have been ahead by 12 points. A 12-point gap is massive in the mind. Even though it's only 4 games, it's massive in the mind. Now there's a 6-point gap. So that's where you get the 6 points from. Not to call you out personally, Mark. We all have this problem when we're like, oh, it's a 6-pointer. Why does it mean that?
I've never really quite understood it, but that's fine. I mean,
It's the swing.
it's
just
I
the
mean, it's
swing between which
it's
way it
I
goes.
get the
Swing.
swing.
They could
I
have
get
been
the swing.
12,
It's like
but now
it's like
they're
in
6.
football. When you score, if you don't score a touchdown, you score a field goal. That's a swing. But
Yeah.
I myself, I mean, yes, Leeds can definitely win this. They're what are they? 6 points back. Their form is incredible. But I'm kind of like, I've been wondering, because it's like 3 through 6 is the playoff, right? Those are the teams that play each other, and because only 3 teams are promoted, correct?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So my question is like, if we've seen teams like who have the heritage and the pedigree that are going up. So so it was Leeds, it was Brentford, it was Nottingham Forest. Who's next? I mean, is it Ipswich? Is it Hull City? I mean, who's the team? This is like, oh yeah, man, back in the day, oh they were a good squad,
Different eras, Mark. You can go back to
Sure,
the 70s.
yeah.
You can go back to the 70s, and Ipswich Town were one of the top teams.
Yeah.
For about 3-4 years. They were pushing Liverpool and Leeds at the top. I mean, they probably their success came just after Leeds, when Leeds started waning off. But yeah, big side. West Brom never. I don't think they ever won anything, but they were a good old first division club again.
West Brom,
70s,
I
80s.
remember in the top tier. I mean, I've seen them there.
Yeah.
I'm talking about squads that I haven't seen, that I'm going to be introduced to. Although now with Leeds in the championship, I've been watching a little bit more, so I see this team play and I see that team play.
Hull
Which is a lot of
in
fun.
the Premier. Hull have been in the Premier.
Yeah.
And they're well supported.
Right, we're going to Hull.
And I'll tell you what, they're my dark horses to get up through the playoffs. Hull. Yeah.
Where are they? Down in 6th? Yeah.
They're in 6th. Yeah. They're the ones who did they beat the other day? They beat Southampton, didn't they?
Yeah.
And they had to really battle for it, but they've got a good manager, and
Who is
he's
their
worked
manager?
hard. Rosina. And
Liam or Leroy?
Leroy Rosina. and he's
Oh,
just had
Jesus.
those in January. They've put some money in, and they got Cavallo and somebody else. Can't think of his name at the moment.
The
But
Turkish player.
yeah. So they've actually splashed the cash a bit because they're going for it. So good luck to them. Good luck to them. But I think they're really tight. West Brom, they're there or thereabouts, but sometimes they just flatter to deceive and let you down. They had a good win at Plymouth the other day. Southampton, it's now how are they going to react? And they've got some difficult games. I think have they still got Ipswich to play as well as Leicester? But yeah, I think Ipswich. I still think Ipswich are probably the team who out of the 3 to 6, I think, are probably more likely to nick it purely because they just don't give up, and they're going to keep Leeds honest right to the end because they just don't stop. I mean, the other night, Rotherham, they fought back. It's 3-3, but then a minute later, in like 90 plus 6 minutes, Leicester went and scored again. I mean, they just don't stop. There's always 3, 4, 5 players in the opponent's 18-yard box when they're attacking, and that's why they're successful. They just outscore other teams. Great in this division. Next year, if they're in the Premier, not a chance.
They conceded 3 goals to the team that are 12 points adrift at the bottom. That's unsustainable.
Yeah. But they might get away with it this year, Tom. That's the difference. Maybe.
Well, guys, it's definitely an incredible championship finale of the season. Last 12, 13 matches that are coming up. And I'm excited to watch the rest of this. I just can't stress enough. Yes, you've won these 9 games, and that's incredible as it is. But the plus 20 goal differential, when we were just looking at that, Leicester have a 41 goal differential. You guys have 37. Take 20 away. That means you were at a 17 goal differential of 17. And now all of a sudden you're coming up there where watch this end on goal differentials. This 9-game stretch of 20 plus goals. You've only given up 2. Incredible. This can matter so much in a title challenge. And also when you're chasing another team, even when they feel like they might get caught, if they have a 20 goal differential on top of yours, they can always rest a little bit on those laurels. But you guys are putting so much pressure on Leicester City, and you're just doing your damn thing, and I fucking love it. You know what else I love is halftime. And it is about halftime of this show. Mark is over there peeing from his eyeballs as he's staring me down, saying, can we go to break?
Into his glasses as well.
It is halftime. Thank you all so much for joining us. We are not going anywhere. Whoa, that was an awesome effect, actually.
That was great.
Cool. That looked really cool. We will be right back in 3 minutes. We have a little halftime break for you guys, and we will be back with Mr. Tom's Betting in the Dark with Mr. Tom. That's too many Mr.
Cyril.
Toms in that title. Betting in the Dark.
Never have
Mr.
too
Tom
many
and Cyril.
Mr. Toms.
And we will talk more Leeds United, and then we will talk Carabao Cup final between Chelsea and Liverpool. So we will be back in 3 minutes and 6 seconds. So if you need to use the restroom, now's the time. Don't forget to hit that like button here and in the restroom if you got time. All right.
Here's a question. When you guys were in the desert that was the championship for 16 years, did you watch any Premier League games?
No. I didn't watch any of them. Fuck them. I didn't watch a single minute of a Premiership match. Swear to God. I didn't give a shit.
I must admit, or anything like that.
No, I still don't watch. I don't watch anything but Leeds, mate. Nothing but Leeds. That's it. And that's all I care about.
I must admit, I'm with James this season. This season, I've struggled to watch other games.
Bielsa watches everybody. You You should too.
No, and what I really hate is like people like talk, oh, that was a great match, man. That was a great match. And it wasn't even involving your club. I mean, no one cares. No, I don't care about that, man. No one care. I don't care about anything that doesn't involve Leeds.
All right. So in the last 15 years,
I fucking love you, James.
I love Leeds. I love
how many
Leeds.
times have you watched?
I love Leeds. Full stop.
So the
Full
last
stop, mate. I
So
love
you-
Leeds. I
you just
don't give
missed
a fuck about anybody else.
15 years. Like, is that what you're saying? Like, you didn't? Did you watch Lionel Messi or Ronaldo or anyone?
No.
Oh, nobody watches that.
No, don't care. I don't care. I only care about Leeds.
That's fucking insane.
I don't know. I don't even know who those people are. Who are they?
How do you know how
Lionel Richie and someone? I can't remember. What did you say?
James.
I'm in a bubble, mate. I'm in a bubble. It's called the Leeds bubble. I'm there. I'm here to stay. I signed up for this 40 years ago, and I'm not leaving. It's the 40 years.
I wanted to ask you, James.
It's Leeds bubble. I don't watch. I don't give a fuck about any other team.
No.
I really don't.
Well,
I don't give a
case,
you on the
today's
train.
one.
I hate
Today's
them all.
one
I hate
for
them
Boris
all.
because we scored
There's
it.
varying degrees of hatred.
Right. But
It's
seriously,
going to make me hate you.
See, James, that's the thing is you think that like bothers James at all? James expects he expects that you hate Leeds. He comes.
I want you to hate Leeds.
Exactly.
I want you to hate us. You
Well,
know,
after
I
this
don't
season,
want you
we
to
should
like
hate
us,
the fact
any
that
of
the
you.
Wolves beat you.
No. Look, I love your hatred, man. I feed off of it. I feed off your hatred like any Leeds fan does. We don't give a fuck. You hate us and we don't give a fuck.
Yo, and we're back. Classic James. Gotta love it. All right. Welcome back, everybody. Are we here? Everybody? That was a quick one. Everybody got their ears in? Hello, Tom?
Hello.
All right. Welcome back, everybody, from our little halftime break there. I hope you all enjoyed it. Well, let's get straight into it, Mr. Tom. I'm ready for some betting in the dark. Are you ready for some betting in the dark? Let's go.
Betting in the dark with Mr. Tom.
Come on, love, place your bets.
And it is time for Betting in the Dark with Mr. Tom. Let's just give our little disclaimer here. Betting in the Dark with Mr. Tom is a segment that we like to do where we ask Tom to get the craziest bets that he can find, the longest shots that he can find that will turn $1 or £1 into hundreds of dollars or pounds, depending on your denomination? Non-denominational?
Nomination.
I don't know. All right, so Mr. Tom, let's kick it off. The floor is yours.
Roll up, roll up. I have some wagers for you all. We have something nice and simple to whet the palate. Haaland did finally get off the mark after his return from injury on Wednesday night. So he wet the palate a bit. But he's going to go for a 4-course meal down at the Vitality Stadium or whatever they call it these days. Man City to win 3-1. Erling to get all three. 263. Let's go.
263. That 3-1. You think Bournemouth will score? Solanke in there. Maybe.
I have 4
On a penalty.
Something happen. I can.
All right. All right. I had my best day in fantasy football in forever, by the way, this week. And I meant to triple captain Haaland, and I didn't. So I could have even been better. But, yeah, I did all right. Okay. Let me snap a photo of this. I'll take this, Tom. I think you're right about Erling Haaland. I could see that. Gary, David, any thoughts on this? Mark?
I kind of
The last time I bet that Holland would score a hat trick, someone on City scored a hat trick, and it wasn't Holland. It was Phil Foden of all people.
Oh,
Good hat trick
I
as well.
think Lolo. I think you had Julian Alvarez scoring a hat trick that day. This was just like a few weeks ago.
Yep.
I like this bet. I'd take it. I mean, City is not doing a very good job keeping clean sheets. Holland is definitely due. Yeah, I'm taking it. It's not quite as high of odds here in the States, but yeah, I love it.
You could stick a Bournemouth player in to sort of like bump that up.
I mean, that's pretty high. That's $260, man. That's pretty high up there. All right, Tom.
Why I went against it. Right, okay. So in the UK, 8 p.m. kickoff, we're going Arsenal to win 2-1. I've gone Kai Havertz to score first, and then Gabriel Megalegs to score the second. Now you could go, why you picked a defender? Well, he's only the highest scoring defender in the Premier League in the last 2 years, so it's not that wild. And 500.
There's your money, Mark.
Yeah, no doubt.
Get a set piece.
Score.
Kai Havertz to score is the one that
that's a tough one.
Yeah, but you might think Newcastle will put a lot of preference on our wingers, which could create more space for Havertz in the middle.
How many has Havertz scored this year?
4.
I
think he scored 4.
Yeah.
He scored a few winners as well.
Yeah.
No, obviously it's outlandish in the sense of the payout, but then that's reflected in the payout.
He scored 5 actually,
Absolutely.
so even better than that. So.
Oh, in all competitions?
Premier League.
Premier League.
I could sit here and go, oh, Saka's going to score and Jesus is going to score, and it'll pay you probably £100, something like that.
Yeah, no.
Well,
Totally
I mean,
agree.
Gary, he only
coming
needs
from,
7 to match Shaka last season, right? And that's what everybody's saying. He's no replacement. He's no replacement.
You know what? The thing is, we don't really need that because, I mean, Declan Rice already has 8 GA, which is more than any other midfielder we had in there besides Xhaka and Erdegaard. So I think I'm not expecting much from Kai. Anything we get's a bonus for me.
I Havertz has scored less goals than Megalegs in the last 3-4 years.
I don't know about that because he did score 7 last year. So I think Michael might have 7 for his career or something like that. Maybe.
Who are Arsenal going to bring in next year up front? I know we're getting off the betting, but
not Mbappe.
A question for later.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, everybody, our Arsenal fans want Victor Osimhen, Ivan Toney, Vlahovic.
I think you guys end up getting Ivan Toney.
But I don't think he's right for Arsenal. I don't think Arteta takes him.
It's a lot of money to invest in him.
Yeah,
and you're already past the point of too much money.
Well, no,
but
it is too much money.
Him specifically, Mark.
He has to easily push somebody to the bench, and he doesn't easily push somebody to the bench. It's not an easy yes, he's out. It's like Rice comes in, he starts.
Sure.
Tony comes in, you have to think about it. You do.
No,
he's
because
not a clear starter in that position.
How is he not?
Because the way Arteta wants to play it.
Yeah,
the way Arteta plays. This has nothing to do with just playing football. You got to remember, there's a man driving this bus, and he doesn't think like a lot of us. He wants Jesus. I think he wants a better Jesus. At least for me, I'd rather him get a better Jesus than to try to retrofit Tony into some scheme that'll screw it all up for everybody. That's what he did with the Havertz. Just messed around and trying to find a spot for him, and the only reason why he's playing is because of injuries sometimes. No, we need a starter, like legit starter. Tony is
I think
100%.
I think Tony is that starter.
Yeah. No. Arteta. Add Arteta to the equation. That is not 100%, right?
Fair enough.
I mean, Mark, for a slight example, if you look at it, and I know it's stupid because saying, look at the example of Man City when Erling Haaland came, Pep had to adjust the entire way his team played because they didn't play with a striker like that. They never did. And it did take, they had some growing pains. They won the quadruple, but that's why my point is fucking moot.
And Holland scored
and Holland,
goals.
Yes, but that's why you change your entire system for a player like that. Tony isn't somebody you change your entire system for, especially when the system is finally starting to work. You know what I mean? That's why I don't think Tony, it's too, they're going to want too much money for him, and he's not a system changing worthy. He's not sponge worthy.
I mean,
can I throw a name in?
I was just going to say the problem is he went with Havertz, and the only way this thing works is if Havertz continues to improve. That's the only way this thing, because they've invested too much into it. That's where that breaks up this entire, who to bring in next. They spent a lot of money on a player. They're gonna want to get the reward and the fruits of their labor of going in and getting them. So I kind of feel like they're waiting for Havertz to click, and then that's when So like I said, I don't think you're gonna go get that striker everybody thinks they are.
Let me throw a name in. Victor Gyökeres, who was at Coventry last year, banging them in for fun. He's at Sporting Lisbon, banging them in for fun. He'd suit Arsenal down to the ground. He's a good player.
What's his age?
Big lad.
Do you know how old he is?
Yeah, he's young. He's 25.
Because that's another thing for me with Tony is he's on the older side.
Ivan Toney's only 27.
Yeah, that's on the older side for Arteta.
Is that?
Yeah, he's an ice.
You had a 40-year-old take care of Martinelli the other day.
Yes, Mark, that all fucking happens, and fucking the baby from
the 40-year-old did not take over Martinelli. Stop it.
Oh, he most certainly did.
No, he didn't.
Martinelli did fuck all against him.
But not because of the 40-year-old.
Well, I'm just saying that's part of the reason, and he wasn't doing it with skill.
It wasn't because of the 40-year-old, at least not in my eyes. That was a total system breakdown there. Once again, Arteta.
That's my name. That's my name for Arsenal anyway. Gyökeres. I could see him fitting in, and I could see Arteta working with him, and
Yeah, for me, it's go after Solanke, but anyway.
Bono's got a name for you all. He wants to know if David O'Leary still plays for Arsenal.
Yes, on Tuesdays and Thursdays.
I'll have nothing said against David O'Leary. One of the best managers Leeds had.
Yeah. Mark, you're talking about this guy?
I most certainly am talking about that guy.
This baby Gerald.
He's
just the best, isn't he, Pepe?
He is, man. And you see him when he's younger, when he had all the hair. That's why I didn't think for the longest time they were the same person, and then I'm like, no, he just used to have hair, but he's always been this fucking bastard. He's so annoying.
That clip where he's playing for Real Madrid and the ball's gone out for a corner or something like that, and the attacker's laid on the floor, and he just kicks the attacker twice. On one of them, he's just raking his studs up his back. The ball's out of play, and it's just like, what are you doing?
Yeah,
I don't think he even got sent off for it. That's a crazy thing.
No VAR back then. Him and Sergio Ramos together is just You must be like, if you're a striker going to play
Ramos.
them, you must have just been like, can I get shin pads all over? Just like,
How did they
all
beat Liverpool? How did they beat Liverpool? Ramos got hold of Salah and almost broke his arm.
broke his arm. Jesus. All right. Somehow. we
Anyway,
ended
back
up
to
there.
betting.
All right, Tom.
Thank you for that. Right, we've gone West Ham to win 3-2. To be fair, you could go either way on this.
Oh, whoa. Sorry.
Right.
This is a good game.
Yeah. And,
This is going to be that'd be a good game to watch.
they both
West Ham,
need a win.
Brentford. Yeah,
They
yeah,
really
it's going to
both
be a
need
good
win at
game.
this point. I've gone Tony to open the scoring, but then I think the crowd are going to get on top of it. A bit similar to tonight, I suppose. And West Ham will overturn it when they usually do score goals. Bowen's usually one of them, so you can then turn that into 200, just over £200.
What would it be if it was Brentford to win?
It's similar.
Yeah.
You know what it is?
It would be pretty close.
It's a pound each, so just that's what it is. Just put one on each. Just flip flop them.
That might be worth a fiver on both.
It is definitely
like
not
that.
worth a fiver.
Yeah, fiver.
I'm not
And what
Leeds won tonight. I don't care.
Yeah, you're like, I've got £10 to spend. It's fine.
Right.
And no, David, you actually saved money because you were thinking about going, but you're still on cloud 9, even though you didn't go. So
Cloud 9.
You've got more
200
money
in my
to
pocket. Thank you very
Yeah,
much.
but he'll be looking at that. He'll be looking at the sink, and he'll have to get the one that's £10 less, and he'll be thinking, "Damn, that Tom and his fucking bets."
Yeah, actually, I've seen the sink, and it's already 150 more than my 200. But there you go.
It's all right.
I do believe it a bit behind the curtain. After
like
I'd
this, Joel.
submitted these to John, I realised that there was no Carabao Cup. I forgot there was Carabao Cup final this weekend. So just before I was about to go on air yesterday on my wrestling show, I then had to put together one for the Carabao Cup final.
For the snooze fest.
We have a bonus. Yeah, the snooze fest. Chelsea-Liverpool is notoriously a 0-0, 1-1 draw. So what are we going to do,
This
Tom?
straight up final.
This is the final, straight up, yeah.
They
It would go to
have,
extra time and then penalties.
to my knowledge, 4
And there you go, Tom.
5 matches.
Brilliant. Yeah.
And
4
look
of
at this,
their
Mark.
last 5 matches are 0-0.
You get 46-1. That's like nothing because they know. They know.
That's actually really high because 0-0s are usually about 6-1. They're doubling it up with the penalty shootout because Liverpool to win on penalties is 10-1, roughly.
I've just realised that I could have saved myself $17.99 because normally when I come over to the States, I'll pop in and I'll buy the melatonin gummies that help you sleep. And they're normally, as I say, they're about $18. I didn't need to buy them. All I need to do is rewatch this final.
Yep.
You know?
Put on any Chelsea-Liverpool match.
Absolutely.
Bore
The
your
most
tits off.
overhyped match. It will always be televised, obviously, because of the fan bases or Liverpool and the people that started supporting Chelsea in 2004. But
Liverpool normally win as well, don't they, Tom?
on penalties, yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, even going as far back as like the Champions League semi-final. That was a penalty shootout, was it not, in 2005?
Is this on Saturday or Sunday?
Usually it's Sunday.
Sunday.
Yeah, because there's no 4:30 Premier League game, which made me suspicious.
What time is this final on?
It's usually about 4 o'clock, isn't it?
Oh, and then they've got us on Wednesday night.
I think we should field our under 10s personally.
No, I like the idea of the championship trophy sitting next to the FA Cup. it's a nice little retro feel back to the 70s, you know?
That's
I'm
a
sure the
tall order,
last
my friend.
I'm sure the last team in the second tier to win it were West Ham off the top of my head.
Yeah.
They
It's
beat Arsenal in
Mark,
1980.
if a man hasn't got his dreams, he's got nothing.
Exactly. And you're telling this to a Wolves fan?
Yeah.
Well, fellas, let's actually get into it then. Let's go ahead and start our conversation about the Carabao Cup final. As much as we all know that we don't really know what Carabao is,
It's a
but
soft drink.
the cup that they provide and the tournament that they provide is one of the legitimate trophies and pieces of silverware that you can win in a season. That being said, Sunday, it's anybody's game. Somebody has to walk away a winner. Jurgen Klopp's team is going to want to bring some silverware. And it may not be the league and it may not be the Europa League, but it could be this and it could be this weekend that they do it for their gaffer who's leaving in the summer. Or the shittiest Chelsea team we've seen in forever, who spent £1 billion and still don't know what they're doing, could finish 11th or 12th place in the Premier League, yet have a trophy. Would they have a better season than your Manchester United, your Tottenhams? Like, what does this mean for Chelsea? And what does it mean for Liverpool? Those are the questions I'm asking you, fellas.
Silence.
I get confused.
These guys
suck,
it's like, David. Jesus,
I mean, as much as Chelsea would
better
love
panel.
to
You talk about a crap football game, and then you want us to talk about
he
it.
just want
You
didn't feel my emotion.
It's going to be goalless. It's going to suck. It's the shittest ever. And then he turns around and goes, "So what do you think about it?"
Yeah, right. Oh, sorry. Were you talking to us?
Yeah, I was on bio break. I'm sorry.
I turned off at Caribou Cup.
I thought that was a
Why are you
recording.
talking about it?
Bono, I
had
know
popped up.
better. If I may, Bono, I know better than to wear a jersey in another city. Like I wouldn't go to Leeds wearing a Wolves top. I wouldn't go to London wearing a Wolves top. But I am that stupid. I will watch this match. I do not know what to expect. Liverpool obviously ailing. Chelsea obviously we don't even know who they are. Because 1 minute Chelsea is doing really well, and the next minute they're like, "Who is this team?" Yeah. You know, I have no idea what to expect from this match. I will watch it, and I will watch it with the same excitement that I've watched just about every match this season. Yay!
I don't. For me, I don't. I think if Chelsea wins it, it'll be really bad because I think they will be able to use that to build. That's what I think. And I think it'll be a little bit different than what we saw from Manchester United when they won the Carabao Cup. That's my. I guess maybe it's a fear. I just think that's what would happen with it, because I think they're a young team, and I think if you give them something like that, I think that more totally. Those players are talented, right? I don't think we think outside of Mudryk. I think everybody believes the rest of that team's okay. We got some talented players there. A lot of them hurt that haven't even played yet. Yeah, and if they do anything good in the league, they're not going to be able to sell them anyway. So I just kind of feel like, yeah, I'd rather have Liverpool just destroy them and just 3-0 at half, and then we're all laughing for the last 45 minutes.
I'm gonna put in the alternative view. Even though, as a Leeds supporter, I should wish all ills upon Chelsea, I have to say I hate Liverpool even more. So therefore, I want a young Chelsea side to come through and send Clipperty clopping on his way.
Why do you hate Liverpool, David, out of interest?
The reason I hate Liverpool, I've always admired them football-wise. But it's funny enough, when I was living up in Grimsby, up Grimsby way, and I went to an FA Cup game at Liverpool, which Liverpool beat Grimsby 4-0. But there was a certain guy called Kenny Dalglish, fantastic player.
I've heard he was
But
good.
he literally followed the referee from 6 yard at one end all the way to the other end, berating the referee for not giving a penalty. And I just thought to myself, what an unsporting bastard. So I've just turned against Liverpool ever since. I just don't like their ethos. The crowd was quiet. All this noise. This noise. They only made a noise when they scored, which they scored 4, so they did make a fair bit of noise. But not for me. And also in the 70s, lots of football violence and things like that. And I saw the Liverpool fans really putting themselves about at that. So no, it's a club I just don't like.
So in short, you don't like the smell.
Bin tippers.
Who was?
I mean, does anybody actually
Who
want?
was the Leeds hooligans back in the 70s?
Oh, Leeds. Yeah, we were awful. We were awful.
Oh, but you guys were you guys had a name. Like what was the? You guys were the company or something like that. I don't know.
What were we called now? I can't remember. There were so many different clubs back then.
The Firm.
The Firm. Something like that, yeah.
There was the Intercity. I can't remember who was the Intercity lot. That wasn't Leeds, was it? I think maybe that was West Ham.
The West Ham, the ICF.
It was West Ham, wasn't it? That was. But yeah, no. I mean, it was shocking back in those days.
Oh, the
one of the funniest
service
things.
crew. That's what I was thinking of. The service
one
crew.
of the funniest things I ever saw on the way to a Leeds game, and it might have even been the Leeds Liverpool game, on the buses from the town centre out to Ellen Road. And I was with my father at the time. I think I was probably about 13, 14. And the bus in front, suddenly it was a double decker, and the emergency window at the back opened, and people started jumping out from the top deck because the bus was on fire.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. And that just typified how things were back then. It was just horrendous. It was horrendous, But there you go.
Yeah.
Wow.
Fun stuff.
So
Fun
are
days.
all of us so what are we saying? Who are we going with in the Carabao Cup? Where are we ending on this? I know we've got the people who want Klopp, don't want. David wants Chelsea. Gary, what did you say?
I said I don't want to see Chelsea win.
So you want Liverpool?
No, that's not what I said. That's not what I said.
Yes, you did.
No, it's not. No, I didn't say that. Don't put words in my mouth.
He didn't.
You would.
He just doesn't want Chelsea to win.
I just told you what I want. I want Chelsea to lose.
Well, I want a hole to open up in the middle of the pitch and both of them to fall inside, but that's not going to happen.
That's my favorite Bane. My Bane. I need Bane to show up. That's it.
Tom, what are your thing? What do you want to happen? I know you put Liverpool to win on the bet, but what do you want to happen?
I suppose, I could have this entirely wrong, and that's fine. But on some level, I think if Chelsea won, and because for all the reasons that have been said, as in it'll be the impetus, it'll be as a group, their first trophy. I know that they've won lots of trophies, but that particular group of players, it'll be their first time getting over the line in that shirt. And hopefully they would then take it to the pub for the next 3 days to celebrate. And
yeah,
and then we could sort of reap the benefits of a hungover football team.
That's what I'm hoping.
Well, you run the risk of having a congealed,
a happy football team, an excited football team.
Congealed?
Yeah, you don't. I see. That's why you don't want them to win then, because Leeds shows up, and next thing you know, you're like, this is not the Chelsea we thought they were.
No, because
Who did Chelsea
we
play
beat-
the other day? Chelsea played somebody the other day and they ripped them apart. They were really good, Chelsea were. And I was like, oh, crap, so we're going to meet them at the wrong
They
time.
destroyed
But,
Villa in the previous round.
It was Villa. It was Villa.
It depends which Chelsea team shows up. So for me, the way I'm going with it is I want Liverpool to win. I don't want Chelsea. I'm right here with BX. I don't want Chelsea to win another trophy ever again.
Yeah, and that's it.
That's my thought.
You don't care about the other team now, okay?
No, but here,
cheer for the other team. You don't want them to win. But
well,
guess what?
Gary,
You want everybody to
let
win.
me just tell you, I have a lot of respect for Jurgen Klopp. I like him as a coach. I like him as a person. I wish he would have come over to Arsenal after Wenger. Would have been amazing. He deserves something this year. So let's give him the fucking Caribou. And then when he loses the league to us, I don't feel so bad.
Yeah. So
because if
Chelsea,
he loses this,
Chelsea,
if
you want
he
Chelsea,
loses to
Chelsea to lose and Arsenal win the league. Got it.
There you go. There you go.
Lolo, can I just suggest to you that perhaps Pochettino, for his services to Spurs, probably you should be hoping that Chelsea win, because he did such a fine job at Spurs where they won absolutely nothing.
No, if Chelsea win, that will be the only consolation. Is that I would say, ha ha ha, Harry Kane goes to Bayern Munich and doesn't get the only trophy he gets is a cannon, like an Arsenal cannon that says, golden boot or whatever, golden boot and stuff. And Pochettino, who couldn't win shit at Spurs, goes to the worst Chelsea team and wins a trophy. That's the only consolation, but it's not enough to have to deal with Najee. He's bad enough.
You guys don't. We love you, man.
These cats.
Najee's a pussycat.
Oh, I know,
He's
but he
awesome,
loves
man.
it. No. The thing about Najee, when I first met him, and he told me, he's like, I miss my boys, my friends, my friend base, where we could talk just shit. And he's not like that, like in his whole life with his family, with everybody. He's so polite and so nice and so like, he's like a manager of his job. Like he's so, but he wants to talk shit. Najee wants to talk shit, and he does it in the chat. He knows what he's doing. You can't be like, oh, Najee, you can't be hard on him. No, we all say fuck Najee all the time in the chat. And he loves it. He's like, bring it. So I love it. And for that, Najee is always, so.
I do have one more aspect to why I wouldn't mind the Liverpool win. It's
Let's hear it.
when they played Arsenal in the third round, I had £2. I had £2 on Liverpool to win the FA Cup at 12-1. So I'd quite like to get my
You're 12-1.
Yeah, I'd quite like to get 25 quid really.
Yeah,
Okay. Well, that works. You should have.
You sell your soul to the devil so easily, Tom.
I know. And then you know it's going to come back to haunt you. No, you don't want any of that. You just want hate. I want everybody to lose, my team to win. That's it, right?
Isn't that exactly your stance there, Gary?
Yeah, I don't. I really don't want
only you only want your team to win, and
Exactly.
the teams that can help your team in a better spot. Now, for instance, when Wolves played Chelsea, you were probably the biggest Wolves fan.
I was
in
not
the
a
world.
Wolves fan. I was just like, I hope Liverpool loses. You're missing
We
how this
didn't
thing
play
works.
Liverpool. We played Chelsea.
Oh, whoever you play, it doesn't matter who you played. I never cheered for your team.
It does. It does. Because
I'm
we did something that
I'm
Arsenal
happy for you that
didn't.
your team
We
won,
beat
but that's
Chelsea.
not where I was going with my my fandom was not for your team winning. For your happiness, maybe. I think so. Kinda.
I think every time Wolves win, you always text, Mark's happy.
Yeah, damn right.
Mark, what you need to realise is that when you're dealing with clubs who are in the Big Six, is that they have no empathy because they've never gone through hard times. So they don't know what it's like to be a Wolves supporter or a Leeds supporter or a Leicester supporter. You know, it's foreign to them. It's a concept they just don't understand.
You saw I
And
like
that's why we fucking love to beat them when we do.
Hey, we started the season in the relegation zone, so I know hardship, right, Lolo?
No, you don't.
Oh, three games.
You don't even
3
start.
games.
You start
Behave yourself.
top of the table every year.
It was the worst.
6 more games to go.
You start top based on alphabet, let alone being on.
Right.
Yeah, but that season, Tom, we were in the relegation battle. We were in a legit relegation battle for like 3 weeks.
Yeah. And where were Leeds? I think Leeds were in the top 4.
You know what? We didn't even play 1 week. It was crazy. It was painful.
That's how bad it was.
They were upset during a match that they won 6-0, David. Until they got that first goal, you would have thought they were going to die at the end of the 90 minutes.
Okay, Mr. Tom.
Because it was 30. I remember saying to my daughter.
Mr. Tom, today was a game, right? For the first 50, 60 minutes of this game today, how are you feeling? All right. Don't even answer it. We know the answer. Don't even try. We know the answer. It's okay. We know.
I've openly admitted the answer about 9 times between now and what would it have been, 9:48 or something like that.
The thing is, we have a lower bar of expectation.
Oh, levels, right? There's levels to this thing.
There is
levels, right?
There is, yeah. There is very much so. You know, it's the old first world problems, isn't it? You know, oh damn, we might not qualify for the Champions League. Really? Who gives a fuck? We're in the Champions.
Our club will be finished
not
if
league.
we don't have that income. Oh no, our billionaire owner might have to dip into his own pocket instead of using UEFA's prize money. Oh no. Oh.
As you said, there's levels to this thing. You would understand.
Funding, even though he's got 27 billion.
We're struggling up here. We're struggling up here.
I understand entitlement, Gary.
Well, interesting. Did you guys hear about the whole Chelsea thing with UEFA?
Yeah,
today?
I was curious about that. I don't quite understand what's going on.
So basically, Chelsea have some financial gray areas that they were going to be fined for.
These contracts.
And they've made a deal with UEFA. I don't know if it's all gone through or anything, but there's a deal out there that they'll say, okay, we'll take a 1-year ban on UEFA competitions.
Yeah.
They're in fucking 12th place, 11th place.
yeah, but they would be in Europe if they win the Carabao.
If they win the Carabao Cup, they're in Europa.
So if they win, and this comes out this week of like, okay, we'll take that ban. And I think it's because they know if they wait till next week, UEFA's not going to take that deal. If they lose, UEFA's like, wait, no, we're not. 1-year ban. You're not allowed. You're not good enough to be in our fucking competition. We'll ban you next year. Give us our money.
Right.
To be honest, it would still be worth Chelsea just saying ban us for next year, even if we win the Carabao. It doesn't matter, does it? Just ban us.
That's why they're saying because
Europa is not the big money. It's the Champions League that's the
you get more money being in the Champions League group stage than you do for winning the Conference League.
Yeah.
Which they do not want to be in, because then they're restricted to the financial fair play rules of the Conference League.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's like, wait,
which would leave them apparently with like a transfer budget next season of £10 million.
Wow.
because their wage
which
budget
they pay
is
on
about-
which they pay in postage as it is
So
currently.
that's like what, $100 a year?
No, because they spend about 390 million a year in wages. It's something like that.
They need a franking machine, Mark. That's
Only
what they need.
imagine.
So basically, they're just going to tell Jackson to just try to kick the ball out of the goal because they know he's not going to make it, right? That's all they're going to do.
I'm starting to think that Jackson has a goal scoring clause. You know how most strikers who sign on, they have a goal scoring clause of like, if I hit 10 goals, I get $1 million bonus. If I hit 20, and his is like, if you hit 8, we're gonna dock your pay. So he's just making sure to keep it right under. He'll get his 8th on the last day, keep Chelsea up.
From day one watching Nicholas Jackson, I've always thought him to be horseshit. And I still think he's horseshit. And
that's just not the adjective
I
expected.
Mean.
I know it's mean.
Think about it. His best day was a hat trick, and everybody's like, "You could have had 2 of them."
And it was like a 3-minute hat trick that all came at the end, and they were all pointless goals.
Oh, was that the one where Timo Werner had like 2 assists in like 30 seconds or something like that?
No,
too long ago.
Timo Werner.
That was against Brentford.
I'm sorry. I'm thinking.
That's Tottenham. That was Tottenham.
Talk amongst yourselves.
Right? Werner is
maybe it is. Yeah. Werner's with Tottenham.
Yeah. He had like 2 assists in 5 minutes at the end of a game like 3 matches ago. But no, Nicholas Jackson had a hat trick early on in the season, but it was like all after the 80th minute or something. It was, and they were kind of pointless. All goals are good. All goals are good to get. Yes, get your goals. But 3 of his 4 goals all came in one game that didn't really matter.
Jackson's got the worst hat trick I've ever seen. Because very few players that get a hat trick at Premier League level needed like 17 shots to achieve it.
Yeah, right. He could have had 2 hat tricks. One in the first half, one in the second half.
Yep.
I think you're all very mean.
No,
he's a young lad finding his way.
We're just talking about what we saw on the TV. Did you?
Have you watched him play?
Yeah, I have, and I think you've got to put it into context.
That he
still
plays
very
for
well, still very well. But when you're putting Kai Havertz in your team, I'm sorry,
dude. I'm with you. You know what? I'm with you. So go on, keep going. Go on, tell me.
Jesus, how many goals has Jesus scored this year?
I'm with you on that one too.
I'm sorry.
He would have to stay healthy.
Arsenal fans are in glass houses at the moment when they're talking about
I'm with you.
And Jackson isn't the best.
They can't make a shot.
Jackson isn't the best, but he's a young lad and he's still learning his way.
The difference is he's an out-and-out striker. Kai Havertz is not.
They didn't cost 80 million.
That way.
They didn't cost 80 million, so there you go.
How much did he cost?
Not 80 million, that's for sure.
Oh, I have no idea. What he cost.
We are not happy with Jesus and Havertz. Just to say that.
Yeah, you haven't got an attacker. Full stop.
Yeah. Yep.
Sorry, Tom. Yeah. I have to say that. I know you're an Eddie fan, but
Jackson cost 32 million.
32 million.
So that's
Tom, who's in the mug? Who's in the mug, Mr. Tom?
Pocket change.
And I'm sorry, David. I'm sorry. You just said we don't have any attackers. Is that
through the middle, right? Is what you're saying?
Who do you have? Yeah,
we don't have any attackers.
A proper forward, a proper attacker.
No.
I'm not talking wingers. I'm not talking wingers.
He's clarifying.
Motherfucker,
I'm not talking your wingers. I'm not talking your wingers.
No,
I'm talking
attackers.
No. I mean a dedicated goal scorer, because that's what you're lacking. That's what you're lacking.
That is not what our manager. I will say it. I've said it a billion times on this show. Mikel Arteta would prefer 5 15-goal strikers as opposed to 1 50 goal striker. I mean, we
Yeah.
all want a 50 goal striker, but
Yeah, unfortunately,
you know what I mean.
you're not going to win a Premier League that way.
David,
Always a loser.
David,
And Arsenal
Your-
definitely
your
doesn't
team-
have 5 15-goal scorers.
we will.
He's a loser.
David, your team has been fantastic, and you're on an incredible run. 9 games, 22 goals, 2 goals against. That's a 20-goal plus cushion that you've done in 9 games. We've had 5 and scored 21 and given up 2. So for no attackers, we've scored nearly as many goals as you in 4
Jesus
less
Christ.
games.
You know, and
I'm
he-
getting
he
angry, Mark. We're at
crows.
the end of the
He
show here.
crows
I was
about
being.
this.
I didn't.
And
I
you
didn't go. Hey,
played
David.
like, you
David.
played like
David.
Crystal
I didn't go there.
Palace.
Don't
played
lug me in with that guy.
Burnley,
All right.
You played Sheffield
Hey.
United, who's given up goals, 5 goals to everybody.
Lolo, you better not. You better not get on a plane and go to England, man. I think you could.
I'm just saying.
You're gonna
We've scored all these goals
You're going to
against
security.
nobody.
as soon
We
as you
scored
walk in-
3 on
as soon as
Liverpool,
you walk
Mark.
in an airport.
3 on Liverpool. Best team in the league.
David's got
best
friends.
defense. Yeah. West Ham, who beat us twice. Oh, I'm sorry. We put up some goals on them. Burnley, who usually fucking bogey us.
So,
I'm
wait,
on
whoa! You're offending my ears now. West Ham, Burnley, what? And you said them in the same sentence.
Absolute
Shame on you!
juggernaut.
Shame on you, Lolo.
Juggernauts of the
Shame
sport.
on you.
Absolute juggernauts you play.
Juggernauts of the sport.
Oh man!
Hey,
Oh man!
We need to know. We need to know as a question, Mr. Tom. The mug.
Oh, I'm glad you asked.
I bet it's Sergeant Slaughter.
No,
Oh no, it's not. Definitely not Sergeant.
it's the
Slaughter.
Fiend, Bray Wyatt, who won this week. He won the Wrestling Observer Newsletter Award for Worst Match of the Year, which was really impressive because he had one match last year and then he died, and it won the worst one.
Oh,
so
damn.
well done, impressive. So he
Well
had
done
he had a 1 bad match, 1 death ratio of 50-50. So well done, well done. God rest his soul.
Well. All right, guys. We're down to the last few minutes of the show here. So
11 goals.
I have a
11
question.
goals. 11 goals you scored. How did you get on in Portugal, son?
11 goals in 2 matches, man.
Yeah, how did you get on in Portugal?
You know
Still
what?
they've been saying,
What
Not
I've
David.
one
learned
shot
is what
on
happens in
target.
Portugal stays in Portugal, all right? You get a little pill from the guy at the
Oh,
Hey, David, did you
fucking
see it?
hell.
David, did you see it?
I tell you what, I have to say, I felt bad I did feel bad for my friends on the stoop, but now I'm not feeling quite
Whoa,
so
whoa,
bad.
whoa, 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 whoa!
The-
You
the-
lucky
the-
Yourself,
with him.
yourself is
How's
not
your buddy?
included
The
in that.
goal by
Gary.
Galeno was
Yourself is
pretty
not
hot. Though.
included.
Thank
in
you,
that.
thank you. I was like,
Yeah.
The
Lolo,
goal was
I don't
pretty
know
fucking
you.
hot.
It's the drunken little Mexican. You know what I mean?
Yo.
That's all right.
I'm not even drunken, and the rest is
Oh,
correct.
you're just talking shit then. Okay.
Oh, thank goodness! Because for a second there, I thought Lolo was going to say, "I'm not even Mexican." Wait,
I'm not even-
I thought that's what you were gonna say. I was like, okay. You're
No,
not
I'm
drunk,
just-
and you're not.
No, right now I'm just so
Yeah.
anti everything David's saying that I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
no. But no, you're spot on about the rest.
Cállate, vete a mierda, vete a
I was like,
mierda.
I've grown 4 inches in the past year. I am not that little anymore. I got a growth spurt. I pulled my molars. What do we talk about? We just ruined my last ending of the show.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Here we go. Last question. What is more likely? Leeds United finishing in the top spot in the championship, or Arsenal finishing in the top spot of the Premier League?
It's not a
Mark,
question.
Leeds winning the championship. I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it from Arsenal. And Kevin De Bruyne is back, and it's just
he doesn't
it's
play
cities.
for us.
I know, but wouldn't you like that?
Oh God, shut up. Oh,
Could you imagine? Could you
Fiesta
imagine
Bowl
your
again now.
midfield being De Bruyne and Rice? That's just illegal.
and Odegaard. Oh,
Don't get greedy.
all right, Tom. See, I know Tom's going to go for Arsenal because he's not going to say he doesn't want to jinx Leeds United.
No, based on the question, it is more chance of Leeds for the simple fact that as good as Leicester are and as good as Leicester have been, the reality is that Leicester haven't got the resources of a Manchester City. They ain't going to unleash Haaland on the Championship, are they?
No.
Good point.
In the last 12 games.
Unleash him. He's not a wild animal. Like, I mean, they unleash him every time they play, and sometimes
he does look like one. He does look like one, though.
Yeah, when he runs.
What animal would you say Erling Haaland looks like? You all thought of one. One entered your head.
I have no idea.
Giraffe.
There you go.
I don't know.
I mean,
you watch them play.
Giraffe runs more like that. He runs like.
Yeah, but he's not a pretty giraffe either.
No, he's
Holland runs like he's in Grand Theft Auto. Like if you're like hit the run, they start going, and you're like, you don't need to move your arms like that. And he's like, yes, I do. And poor Braithwaite is like fucking knocked out in a corner.
I know. He just abused him.
He's still out.
He's a unit, isn't he? He's a unit.
He's on my fantasy team, and it was like he's out for a week, and he doesn't know why. All right, Gary, what's more likely?
Orange.
All right, perfect answer. David?
Leeds more likely to win the Championship than Arsenal are to win the Premier. However, can I just say I would like to see Arsenal win the Premier this year because it would mean that Klopp doesn't win it.
Yeah. So give him Sunday. Let him have Sunday. Let him have his little.
No, let him have nothing.
There is a more ideal outcome.
Give him his moose knuckle.
If you don't want these guys to brag and crow, and you don't want Klopp to win it, there is a third option, David.
No, the third option is I just do what I normally do when Lolo starts going off on one.
There is a fourth option, David.
I don't hear it.
You just go, what's that? Yeah.
It's a little bit like when the missus starts going on, you know. It's like, yeah. Okay,
well, I'll tell you what. I think Arsenal are more likely to win the title. And you may not like this, Leeds United fans, but I think you guys are 100% Leicester City's biggest threat. But they're done with you. You don't play them again. They're done. They are leaps and bounds better than so many clubs in the Championship that you're going to want them to stumble, and maybe they will. But they have to stumble more than you do, and you have to be on it for the rest of the season. Yeah. And I think 12 points would have been insurmountable. 6 points is still a lot. It's still a lot. So I think Arsenal, the fact that it's a 3-horse race this year will benefit Arsenal, maybe, hopefully. So that's why I'm going with Arsenal there. I think it's more Leicester stopping you guys because they don't have to stop you anymore. They're not playing you. They just have to.
Yeah. I agree. We rely on Leicester.
Well, now your goal differential. You know, you've been working on your. That was my whole thing about the goal.
Yeah, but we rely on Leicester to mess up.
But it's still really.
And at the end of the day, we don't care.
They need to mess up big time.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Twice.
And they haven't. They've only done it against you guys twice.
Well,
so
and Middlesbrough.
Yeah.
Twice.
They're only two real bad patches of the season have been against the same two teams.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. It's the same as if we could go on unbeaten run to the end of the season. As far as I'm concerned, it doesn't matter. All that matters is that we get promoted at the end of the season. Whether we get promoted in first or second doesn't matter. It would be nice to finish top, but it really doesn't matter because all I
Yep.
want to do is get out of this league because trust
Yep.
me, it is awful. It is
Yeah.
dross.
Yeah. Gary, you've got like a Leicester fan on your channel, I think. Disappointed with the Leicester
No, he
result.
supports that dirty Ipswich team.
Oh, Ipswich. Okay. All right. You know who he is. All right.
Yes.
Well, guys, it's been a ton of fun. There's been tons of people in the comments. This was awesome today. And we're
Good
going to
show.
stick around for a little bit in the after party. And so I'm going to send a link out there. If anybody wants to join us for a little bit after the stream, post-match, I'm going to send this link right here. You can click on that. But please do have your headphones, have your camera on. And we can only support 10 people. So that's only, 5 more people who can join us. And we'll be on for a little bit, talking more banter and whatever you want. Here is the link. It is now in the comments section. So click on that and just wait for us to add you to the little party. And Mark, Tom, David, Gary, this was a lot of fun. I enjoyed yelling at you guys.
I enjoyed
Yeah, it's
being
been a lot
yelled
of
at.
fun. Thanks everybody for joining us.
Yeah, and thank you. And if you haven't already, please do hit the like, hit the subscribe, hit the share button. Send this out. If you have one Twitter follower, that's awesome. Just hitting the share button does a lot for us. So thank you guys so much. We'll be back next week with Friday Night Happy Hour and possibly midweek. Who knows? Depends on our schedule. But much love to everybody. Happy Friday. I hope... who do we have here? Yeah, I hope all your teams win this weekend. Because
We did.
none of you guys are. Yeah.
Yeah, we did.
You guys are done. All right. Peace out.